Manchester United have had a £21 million bid rejected by Fenerbahce for Turkish left-back Ferdi Kadolu. Talks ongoing with PSG over Javi Simmons and Manuel Ugarte, plus also interest in Ivan Toney. These are some of the stories we will be discussing this afternoon. But before we get into that, please smash a like on today's video. Let's try and see 1,000 likes on this afternoon show. And if this is your first time watching, please do subscribe to the channel. I'm live every single day at 8:30, 1:30 and 6 p.m. UK time. Currently, only 50% of people who watch our videos are subscribed. So if this is your first time watching, please do get involved, as it is the best way to keep up to date with all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. Right, now, as always, I like to start my shows off by asking you all a question. And the question I've got for you today is about Ivan Toney. Do you think Manchester United should sign Ivan Toney? I want you to get in the comment section right now, pause the video and let me know your thoughts. Obviously, we know that Joshua Zirkzee has completed his medical and will be announced as a Manchester United player apparently today or tomorrow. We know that we've got Rasmus Højlund, who is also a striker, but do we need Ivan Toney as well? Because the report this morning from Manchester Evening News is that apparently the Toney interest is still alive. Obviously, it broke yesterday that apparently Ivan Toney has told Brentford that he wants to leave the club. Apparently, he specifically said to his agent that he wants to join Manchester United. This has been widely reported. And apparently, Manchester United remain interested in signing Brentford and England striker Ivan Toney this summer. He's available for somewhere around 40 to 50 million pounds. He's only got 1 year left of his contract, 28 years of age. Obviously, had a very, very good season the season before last. Last season obviously was not good for him with his ban from football for betting, but he is very, very talented, I think, and I think he would be a welcomed addition to the squad. I think Højlund and Zirkzee are very, very good, but they're still young, they're still developing. And being honest, I think all three of those players are quite different. Højlund is an out-and-out striker, like Ivan Toney, but Joshua Zirkzee he can play as a number 9, he can play as a playmaker, he's very good on the ball, he's skillful. Whereas Ivan Toney and Højlund aren't quite that same profile. So for me personally, I think if Manchester United's aspirations are to push further up the table, to get back in the Champions League, to maybe even challenge for the title, we need an out-and-out goal scorer like Ivan Toney. Rasmus Højlund is an out-and-out goal scorer, but he's still very young. He's still developing and he still has a lot to learn. That doesn't mean that I don't like him. I love Rasmus Højlund and I think he will become one of the best strikers in the world. But at the moment, he's still got a long way to go. And that's not criticism. I think that's just everyone would agree. But as I said, let me know in the comment section, would you like to see Ivan Toney at Manchester United? Apparently his value is about 40 to 50 million pounds and would be expecting wages of around £100,000 per week. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Moving over to Javi Simmons. This is breaking in the last couple of minutes from, it's coming out from Simon Mullock, who is a journalist here in the UK. He is reporting that PSG are now ready to allow Javi Simmons to go out on loan this season, but there has to be an obligation to buy. It says that kind of structured deal would suit Manchester United well. Now, the story that I've heard is that apparently Ruud van Nistelrooy has specifically requested for Javi Simmons to come to Manchester United. Obviously, Javi Simmons was at PSV when Ruud van Nistelrooy was the manager there a couple of seasons ago. Erik ten Hag is obviously very familiar with Javi Simmons, having spoken very fondly about him after the England game, saying how good of a Euros he had. I would love to see Javi Simmons at United. I think he is an absolutely unbelievable talent. He's versatile. He can operate on the left wing, the right wing, and as a central attacking midfielder. So if there was a world where we could bring him to Manchester United, I would jump all over that. Now, just to be very fair, there is strong interest at the moment from Bayern Munich and Red Bull Leipzig. It's not going to be an easy deal to do, but you would hope that Erik ten Hag, Ruud van Nistelrooy and René Haak would have that pool that maybe Vincent Kompany wouldn't have. I mean, let's just imagine you're Javi Simmons for a minute. You are a 21-year-old Dutch sensation, and you have the option of going to Bayern Munich and probably just being another number who sits on the bench, competing for game time against Musiala, Leroy Sané, and Gnabry, amongst other players. Or you could come and join Manchester United, where you'd be working alongside Ruud van Nistelrooy, who was one of the biggest influences on his career at PSV, working alongside Erik ten Hag and René Haak. If I was Javi Simmons, I would come to Manchester United. I know we're not going to be in the Champions League, but we'll pay the same amount of money. We'll guarantee game time. And I think that in the long run, Javi Simmons would become a bigger and better player getting game time at Manchester United than he would at Bayern Munich. So it'll be interesting to see how this deal materialises. But as it stands at the moment, Manchester United are in talks with PSG over the potential signing of Javi Simmons' loan with an obligation to buy. You can let me know in the comment section whether you would like to see him at the club. Keeping on the topic of PSG, just a quick update on Manuel Ugarte. The story this morning is that apparently Manchester United have now been given the green light to sign Manuel Ugarte, a deal worth apparently £38 million plus add-ons. Obviously, Uruguay played their last game of the Copa America yesterday against Canada, so all of the players have left the Uruguay national camp and are now available for transfer. I would love to see Ugarte at Manchester United. I ran an interesting poll on the members section of the channel earlier on today where I asked people what they would rather. The question was whether they wanted Amrabat for 12 million or they wanted Manuel Ugarte for 38 million. And interestingly enough, it was a very, very balanced set of answers. So again, you can let me know in the comment section, what would you prefer? Ugarte for 38 million or Amrabat for 12 million? My answer to that question, I would like both of them. I think if there's a world where we can sell Casemiro to Saudi for decent money, and then we can use that money to invest in Ugarte and Amrabat, that's the way forward. But again, you can let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you for making it this far in the video, by the way. If you have just joined, please do make sure to smash a like on today's show. I've set a likes target of 1,000 for today's video. And if this is your first time watching, please do subscribe as well. We're on the road to 30k. Please get involved. Everyone is welcome. The final story I've got for you this lunchtime is on Ferdi Kadolu. So this is being widely reported across Turkish media this afternoon. And the headline is that Manchester United have made an offer of £21 million for Fenerbahce left-back Ferdi Kadolu, but Fenerbahce are apparently insisting on £30 million for the left-back. Obviously, he had a very, very good Euros with the Turkish national team. He was one of the shining lights, one of the standout players, I would say, for across the whole competition. Would I like to see him at Manchester United? For 21 million, yes. I think that's a great bit of business. 24 years of age. There's interest from lots of other clubs as well. I think Arsenal are interested. For 30 million, I think maybe that's a little bit steep. Now, the interesting thing with Ferdi Kadolu is his versatility. He's primarily a left back, but he can also play at right back and he can play as a central defensive midfielder. So he does almost tick 3 boxes, which is pretty rare, isn't it, really, to have somebody who can play at left back and at CDM. And he's not on big wages, all the rest of it. And the other thing as well, which I think is I think is quite funny, really, is he's another Eredivisie player. He played most of his youth career in the Eredivisie for NEC. And he actually used to play for the Netherlands as well. And then in 2022, he changed his nationality to Turkish. I think he had dual nationality, but he originally played for Netherlands and then he changed over to Turkey. So he has that Erik ten Hag link in the sense that he was playing in the Eredivisie when Erik ten Hag was a manager there. He isn't Dutch anymore, but he did used to play for the Dutch team. So yeah, I know some people think that we're only signing Dutch players, and he does kind of tick that box. But in relation to the transfer fee, apparently Manchester United are willing to send some players the other way. Apparently Fenerbahce would like to sign Victor Lindelof. A deal is being mentioned around 15 million euros. So is there a world where Manchester United sell Lindelof to Fenerbahce for 15 million euros and we then sign Ferdi Kadolu for, say, 30 million euros? So it would be a net spend of 15 million euros, something like that. What do you think about that? How much do you think Ferdi Kadolu is worth? Is he the missing piece of the puzzle? Do we need a left back? Let me know. My narrative has always been this. I always saw Jared Branthwaite as a target because of his versatility. Jared Branthwaite, as we know, can play left back, which I think is why Manchester United were willing to spend so much money on him, because if they brought him in, yes, he's primarily a centre-back, but he could also cover at left back as well. So I think that's why United were going so crazy for Jared Branthwaite. But obviously that deal is now off. Manchester United are apparently not willing to pay the £80 million that they're asking for, and Everton no longer need to sell because they've just sold Amadou Onana to Aston Villa. So it looks like Jared Branthwaite is off. So as a result of this, it might mean that we have to sign a left back, and Ferdi Kadolu is probably the perfect player for that position. But you can let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section below. I'm going to wrap the video up here. It's just a short lunchtime update. I will be back live at 6 o'clock for the live show. Please make sure to smash a like on the video before you leave. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new. This has been Daily Red Devil. Have a great day, everybody, and speak to you all a bit later.